Precinct Redevelopment will bring enormous benefits to the Ararat community, and not only in the short term, but with many long-term benefits after the upgrade has been completed. Outside, the old toilet block and gardens have been demolished in preparation for the new gallery entrance and cafe. The majority of this project will take place inside the existing structure at the Town Hall, with building works to commence after many months of demolition and further investigative works.
It's the most iconic building in the municipality. It hasn't had any significant investment in it since the 1970s, which was the last major piece of work that was done for it. It's a $7.75 million project, which has been supported by all levels of government, including our own community. It needs a fair degree of expertise to bring that project up to deliver the outcomes that our community expect and need, and to that end we've drawn on the best resources we possibly can to deliver this project. When someone first comes in, the big difference that they'll immediately notice is in the foyer, where there's a fair bit of work taking place in terms of the toilet relocation, the bar, the staircases, a different treatment. The gallery obviously will be significantly enhanced by its display space is going to be increased by something like 30%. There's a lot of work behind the scenes in terms of loading and unloading facilities, space for artists to change and the like. So a large portion of this renovation is about those behind the scenes things. It won't be immediately obvious to the people that are using the facility, but will make a significant difference to the experience that they achieve when they're here.
The relocation of the toilets has meant a large amount of plumbing works with access needed under the floor of the old foyer. With many changes to the interior layout and technical upgrades, how do you respect the history of such an iconic building?
One of the things that came through from my point of view in our presentation to the interview panel was our interest in historic structures, our previous experience in historic structures, and the real interest in adaptive reuse of heritage. Our interest in heritage is really about how you use it to give a really good performance use and make an addition to a community or a society in the long run. In the 70s, there was some work done by an architect called Graham Gunn, and the practice was called Gunn Hayball. And that actually won an award, so it meant that there was a double sort of heritage thing to care about, and that was the modern heritage from the 70s and the original heritage, and so the juxtaposition of those two things was also a great design challenge. The upgrade of the foyer becomes a really important component, as well as the technical upgrade, but then the gallery itself has its own specific entry, which also has a cafe associated with it. So there's that sense of the cafe being embedded into the life of the town, into the life of the gallery. One of the things that during the process that we were really impressed by, and that is the sort of interest from the community. We had a couple of information sessions, and we know that the questions that were asked in the second session, they'd really listened very hard in the first session. So it was very gratifying to know that there was an engaged audience for what the project was about. The project will show, when it's delivered, just how embedded it is in the community's interest and needs. So I'm very pleased to be participating in such a thing like that.
New light and open spaces means many holes in existing walls need to be created. the next video update, we discuss the larger gallery space and the potential of what it can bring to the Ararat community.